This is the eye test.
This is the eye test. Ring gang.
Radio. This is the eye test.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Hey everybody, welcome back to an episode of the eye test. This is PJ, the ref, the coach, the fight architect. We're going to hit on some topics real quick. Well, one main one. But let me just hit back to my co-hosts right now. Let me just talk to, the GOAT artist right here. Let me just pass it over.
Hey, what it do? Eye test. Hey, PJ, where you at?
I'm always here, my G.
Word.
And also, we have another guest right here. One of our all-time favorites, as well as one of the regulars, if you've been listening to Real Talk, the man King P. King P, ready to introduce yourself?
What it do, baby? I'm here. I'm ready. I'm ready to give my introspective bodega thoughts. So let's get it.
Bobby is here. All right. So the topic we want to talk about, especially for the eye test here, is in aspects of we know about training, we know about sparring, we know about getting people ready. But one thing I wanted to find out about, and I want to ask my two co-hosts and everybody else about, what or when do you think a person is ready for their first fight? Specifically in the amateur sense, because pro is a little bit different. So let me just open the floor with LB here. What do you think are generally you're looking for to let you know if someone's ready for their first amateur fight?
Damn, you it's your topic and you put me on the spot.
Yes.
I would say it's like it depends. Everybody's timing is different. Like depends how much you putting in to the gym, how much work you putting in, how much work you putting in outside of the gym. If say for instance, I feel like if you're doing it, 5 days a week and you learning and you improving, sparring, and you're training 5 days a week, maybe about 3 hours, 2 to 3 hours each time. You're eating right, you're at a comfortable weight. You're just, you're picking up all the good habits.
Okay. Hey, yo, P, in your perspective, what are the general things you're looking for? If you would say you would consider the signs that someone's ready for their fight.
Well, kind of what LB said, everything is a little different. Like everybody's different, but really, what the dedication is. How much work are they putting in? Like LB said, inside and outside. Are they training a lot? Are they, what's their regimen like? You know what I'm saying? I know if I were to go amateur, I know my coach would be like, first you got to get off the candy, because I'm just using myself as an example. You know what I'm saying? Like he would tell me, you're not ready to go. You're not ready to compete until you get off the candy, because in his mind, he looked at it as this discipline. You know what I'm saying? You can't be, giving into your vices of food and all this, when you're supposed to be training and going hard. You're not going as hard as you can if you got other things interfering. So I could say how disciplined are you? How much outside of the gym are you working out? Are you running, doing your road work, doing all of that, and basically all of that. And also just, get a feel for how, I feel like if you're not ready inside the gym either, some people they think they're ready, but they're not really ready, and it shows. So when you're dealing with other people, because if you're sparring, I would look if I was looking at somebody and seeing if they were ready or not, I would look at how they are in sparring with other people, and you could just tell he's not quite there yet.
All right, I got you. You both gave a really good start for it. So to to bounce off what both of you are saying, it's like it's a case of every fight is a little bit different. So if we were to look in like a general baseline way, even though there's no real proper way because everyone's a little bit different some way or another, you both were saying like they put enough of the time in. So say if we're just considering like 5 days a week, what would, and you said 5 days a week depending on the hours, would you be?
And I said from 2 to 3 hours, 5 days a week.
2 to 3 hours, 5 days a week.
I feel like if you're going hard and you're learning and you're putting everything in, I feel like it could be, you might be ready for an amateur fight anywhere from 4 to 6 months.
Okay, that's some extra information that even more specific for it, which I really appreciate, because a lot of times where it appears that some people may seem ready for a fight, but they seem to fall apart a little bit later, or maybe some people don't seem to be until they're put on the spot. So my question is this: when you see somebody come in and they start, learning the game and everything else like that. So from my perspective, I usually look at it as like, how do they act the first couple times they spar? Because everybody is a little bit different the first time they spar. Some people are ready to go right away. Some people are a little iffy right off the bat. It's a case of like, how do you gauge them? How much time would you say the first couple of sparring sessions before you have a good idea if you think like, they're naturally ready to go or they might need a bit more time?
I mean, that's super specific, dude.
No, I'm just saying, like, because some people like they appear like they're good right off the first day, but maybe the day or two after that, they just fall apart. Then some guys, it might be a little like, cagey or a little scary. Maybe after a couple weeks, they start to be like, oh, okay, I get the game, things like that. So what do you think affects people to, versus where the gut reaction, where you think someone's ready to go or they're not? What kind of tests or what kind of things would you put them through?
It's not really a gut reaction. It's more of a transition, like a time, like a duration of it. It's like observing the process.
Yeah, you actually gave a better response. You gave a better explanation. I shouldn't have said gut reaction. Gut reaction is like a one-time thing. Like over time, you can start to see.
I mean, because you making it sound like they're a high NBA prospect, or he got out the Olympics. It's like,
no, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to. I'm not trying to like
Francisco Bajado could do it. Hold on, he's Cuban. Hold on, let's wait. He just won silver in the Olympics. Let's see. And his brother got gold, so they could do something like, I mean, I ain't looking at it like that. It's more, because you got to look at it too. Everybody comes in the gym for different reasons, different motivations, different dreams, aspirations. Some people, they might want to just get in shape, and then they feel confident to say, I'm ready to fight. Or other people, from the get-go, they say they want to fight, but then they don't concentrate on getting in shape. And I've seen coaches, they get upset when you come in there and say, yo, I just want to lose weight and learn to box. And then you're like, maybe I might, have an amateur fight. They don't want to hear that. They want to hear a guy that wants to come in there and fight. But sometimes a dude who wants to come in there and fight off rip, he doesn't want to go through the process. So it's iffy. Like, I've seen coaches, just flock to the dude that just wants to fight.
Yeah, in my experience, from what I've experienced, my observations, usually I feel like a lot of times the people that just want to come in straight and just are ready to fight like to, I don't know if I want to say cut corners, try to skip the line, and I don't think they go about it like the right way. Like, you can't just come in and say, oh, I'm ready to fight. Yeah, it's good to have that mentality, but you can't like skip steps. Like I've seen people come in,
but that's
like,
when
first day
coaches want to teach you serious. Then is when you tell them you want to fight. That's when it's like they eyes glimmer up and shit. They're like, oh, okay, yeah. Whereas and they look at you more when you tell them that shit. Like when you're training, everybody's doing their routine. They looking at you more. The nigga who just wants to lose weight or learn the box is like, yeah.
But wouldn't that also just be a case of like, the person coming in is just saying what they want to say, because somebody would be like, yo, I'm here to fight, and then the coach wants to focus on it, and over time they realize like, yeah, this guy can't fight. He's not serious about it. You don't know what beyond of that initial statement.
I mean,
but them initial statements are strong, man. Like that's how you know that's what kind of shapes your training in a lot of times.
thing is like,
I don't know. I feel it's to an extent. Because yeah, I would like to hear somebody be like, yeah, I'm here to fight. But at the same time, are they willing to put the work? Somebody could be like, I want to fight, but they don't want to put the work.
Yeah, exactly.
like,
That's what I was saying. Like, it's like that's why you have to see it over time.
yeah, I just don't see the issue with the, with making the transition. Everybody comes in for a different reason, but then they can all meet at the same end goal afterwards. Okay, like there are some people that come in the gym that they want to take up boxing just for self-defense. And then when they're good enough, then why can't they transition to, okay, well, maybe now that I'm good enough to defend myself, maybe I can go towards actually doing this competitively. Like, there are boxers that have done that. Like, there were boxers that have said they started boxing.
And I agree, but a lot of times, coaches, they kind of pigeonhole you. Like, they old school. But at least from my experience, let me say that from my experience. They want your money, of course, but as far as how they decide to train you, they feed off your energy.
Mm-hmm.
And if you on that I want to fight energy, they make sure they kind of, it's like they give you more of a fucking
consideration.
Yeah, like more hands-on.
No, I fully understand what you're saying, because I've seen it a couple times too. Actually,
and it's like if you're the guy that just wants to learn, you gotta almost pay your dues in a way.
Yeah.
Coach got to see you hang in there with the other guy who just wants to fight, and he's like, oh, okay, they both training at the same level. Da 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 da.
Yeah, because if there's a guy who wants to say like right away, like I want to fight, it makes certain coaches be like, okay, this makes it easier because I know what the end goal is right away, or at least we can fast track our way there. If somebody say like, oh, I'm here to train, you don't know where the person's gonna go. They might stick around, they might leave, and all this other stuff. Like, yeah, the same thing can apply for the person who says they want to fight, but at least right off the bat, they're telling you like, hey, my thought is this.
Yeah, this goes back to everybody likes that bold. I know what I want, but but then a lot of times people don't understand that some people find themselves when they start training.
The other thing that we should also add is some people just come in there capping because they just want to be like, yo, I'm here to fight, just to tell their friends later like, yo, I'm gonna fight. They're never actually gonna commit to it.
Yeah, niggas be clout chasing. That's been from the beginning of time.
Yeah. So
somebody get inspired by a HBO fight one weekend, goes to the gym the next week off a bet or some shit.
Oh, yo,
about a month.
Like, yo, bro, I was watching this fight, bro. His name was I think Gaitai. He fought like 3 times. Yo, bro, I just want to be like there to be like that, bro. It's like
you sound like a cholo.
I don't know what he was sounding like. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I know he's trying to sound. He means Gotti, bless his heart, but it's just wasn't sounding. I know what accent he was going for. I was just like, okay.
I wasn't actually aiming for any accent at all. I was just figuring like somebody who's just like they want to believe they heard somebody be like, yo, I heard about this guy, and I was just like, I don't know.
You kind of sounded like you were like trying to like channel your inner Danny Trejo.
Yeah.
No. I have not played Fight for New York.
Yo, man, I saw a Gotti Ward trilogy this weekend, and now I want to, what's that gym you said you go to? Yeah, I think I want to try it out. I saw Gotti Ward this weekend. Like, yeah, I mean, that's all you had to say, but then this nigga went into like his bag of voices and.
I wasn't even trying to go that route. Anyway, so say that we know what direction people are trying to go. this adds into the other bit. Just from, let's just say from a trainer's perspective, how do you find ways to weed out people, I guess, to find out, to if they're actually serious about what they want to actually compete or not?
Just train them. Shit, what the fuck?
For me, I would say yes, it's generally conditioning, but at the same time, it's just like, for some people, it's levels of sparring. Like, there's some people say, like,
but it's like,
yeah,
how soon you got them fucking sparring? I mean, you got to be training them good as fuck if you got them sparring that soon. Like,
what basics would you want people to know before they even remotely think about sparring?
How to jab.
A jab,
Block.
how to block, footwork, how to slip.
I know you guys are laughing about it, but I mean, like, in just the most basic sense, because the amateurs, you don't really need that much. We're also kind of thinking,
Fuck
like,
out of here.
No.
I don't know what's
definitely need
the
a jab.
standard.
Yeah. You definitely need a jab. You definitely need some sort of knowing how to parry.
You
block
didn't hear what I
punches.
just said.
Sorry.
I just said, like, in general basis, like we said, the general basis of a jab. I'm just saying, like, we're also thinking in our own heads, like the higher level amateurs of what they do. If we were trying to, like, condense it down to, like, the most basic stuff they need to know.
Well, the nigga was saying a jab, shit.
Yes, along with
Footwork. Basically, look, if you have a jab and you could do the damn half or full guard effectively, you ready.
Okay, how about when sparring with people? Hard sparring. How frequently would you make them spar hard?
It depends, because we ain't even covered the first sparring. Because look, man, there's levels, bro.
Okay.
It's like you got doing the drills, the routines.
Mm-hmm.
No, first of all, you got the drills and the routines.
Yes.
Then you have the shadow boxing.
Mm-hmm.
Then you start doing mid work. You know what I'm saying?
Can we just like backtrack real quick, because you mentioned about shadow boxing? Could you just let people know real quickly how important it is?
I mean, shadow boxing is really important. It's like, shit, I do it every day. Like, the fuck. Like, it just, and you gotta envision you have an opponent in front of you, so.
It's also a way to just, like, fine-tune your skill set too.
Yeah.
Are you actually throwing the punches correctly? Because a lot of people are like, oh, I can hit the bag. I'm just like, that's a bag. The bag won't move. Can you imagine when you miss? Can you imagine when the person's further away? What helps you before somebody holds a miss for you? Shadow boxing.
Just learning how you turn and throw your shots, and just get your rhythm and learn how to de-rhythmize yourself if you do fight with a rhythm. Practice.
That is actually super important, to actually know how to break your own rhythm.
Yeah. So it's all of that shit. I'm gonna give you the positives, the negatives, the neutral, the neutralizing, all that shit.
So to all the people who shadow box in their office or just on the street, you're not acting crazy. You're just getting better.
Yeah. So like, okay. So I was saying, like, we already did drills, and I'm talking about in the course of days, weeks, months type
yes.
shit. So you're doing your drills.
Mm-hmm.
You're doing your mid work, footwork, all of that shit. You understand half guard, full guard.
Mm-hmm.
You probably done did some heavy bag work.
I'd imagine so.
Maybe the double end bag as well.
Okay.
You got all that shit kind of down. You know how it feels to turn your punches over and hit something. Now, say if you're doing this Monday through Friday to fucking at least 2 hours a week type shit. Shit, if you one of those guys, it depends. If you one of those half, empty cups type dudes who go in the gym and absorb, and he just try to absorb and learn, and if you're on point like that, you should probably be doing mock boxing by like 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
I can actually confirm that because I've actually worked with a couple of kids who do that. It kind of irritates me once in a while, but otherwise it's kind of cool to watch them do it.
Oh, okay. So yeah, so after that, you probably, I would say maybe a month you should be able to spar if you're putting in that type of work. Because at the same time, you're doing your road work. If you can't run outside, you doing treadmill each day.
Jump rope.
You're doing jumping rope. You're doing push-ups. You're lifting weights, all of that shit. Like, and I'm talking about like a basic weight routine. Not, it depends. You know what I mean? Like, because I heavy lift, I power lift. So, but
Okay.
I do it in a way where I still got my flexibility. But you got everybody's body different. Body is different.
So, accounting all those, how do you expect them, or what do you expect them to approach the first time they spar? Like, what result do you want them to do, or what do you imagine they should expect going in?
What should they expect? To get hit?
Yeah, I mean, like, the most obvious thing, because I know I've had a bunch of guys ask me, it's like, what should I expect when I spar? I'm like, get your ass whooped. That's what you expect. You're gonna get beat the shit out of.
Nah, I don't expect going and get my ass whooped.
It depends who you partner with.
I expect to get hit. It don't matter who I'm the partner with. Like, you gotta have some, after all that training, like, you ain't learned nothing, you supposed to have some fucking confidence by now.
Well, yeah, that's true. I'm looking at it more of like, the later thing. I just assume like you should just know. Yeah, you just caught me there. I just assume people should just know you should hit back.
Nah, like, fuck that. You gotta know there's levels to this shit.
Yeah,
but you still gotta believe.
All right, Parappa the Rapper. I gotta do what? I gotta believe.
Oh man!
But you're 100% right. You are 100% right. You still gotta believe that you can do something, even if it's a grazing shot. Trust me, if the person's that much better than you, they're never gonna forget that. What they do to you after that is a whole nother story, but they're going to remember that you caught them. You have to try.
You should be focusing on ring generalship.
Mm-hmm.
When the first time you spar, even to the last time you spar, every time you spar or fight box, ring generalship should always be the priority because everything else falls under that. You control the ring, you control the fight, you control your opponent.
If the person in front of you is willing to stand like Rock'em Sock'em Robots and you do that with them, you lost.
Yep. Never. You never have to give in to other people. You do what you want to do in the ring.
Yeah, but the thing is, if Rock'em Sock'em Robots is your game, then you got to be the better fucking robot and still control the ring.
You got to be the robot that can actually move.
Not even that, like, because this is the thing, like, I can't force nobody's style or whatever. If you have the mentality of plotting and, face first, going at it with somebody, build up your attributes. Make sure you build up your forearms. Do forearm exercises. Build up your shoulders. Do squats.
Yep.
Build up your thighs, your legs.
That is going to 100% apply.
Yeah, your calf muscles. You know what I'm saying? All of that shit. So, if you're one of those guys who doesn't, slip, you just hold up your hands and you go forward and you just walk dudes down, then yeah. Adapt your body to that.
Yeah, if you're one of those guys who feels like the mailbox is too far away from your house, this is what you need to hear.
You know what I'm saying? So, I look at that as well. It still falls on the ring generalship because if, sometimes I've seen guys like that spook a guy that should know better. And he's not used to a guy just keep coming forward and, he just falls apart.
That is true.
So,
which also applies to guys
and
who
not
like
nobody.
who's like my early stage of like you like to talk to people in correspondence when you fight, you better find a way to actually make it do that properly. You gotta know how to fight your distance. Otherwise, every once in a while, you gotta do the opposite.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, that's why I feel like a month. If somebody's a slow learner, 2 months, fast learner, a month. I mean, they're gonna be nervous either way. They're gonna have the butterflies in their stomach.
Mm-hmm.
They might not necessarily look good. They might even lose.
Yeah.
That it's the first time. But you gotta do it. That's why I said, like, if now after the first time they do it, they probably spar once a week.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the week or some shit.
Yeah.
Every Friday, they might do that for 3-4 months. Shit, by the end, come 5-6 months, they might be ready for an amateur fight. Because once you start sparring, you're gonna start taking in consideration all the outside shit more serious.
So my next question is, because we just talked about like the general like basis that people would work on when they're training, getting ready for all this. How much time would you think it would take for them to get ready for their first fight? Would it take so many months? Would it take a year or longer?
You talking about like a pro fight?
You mean from
amateur?
You mean like from starting in the gym, from first day in to yeah, that's what you mean? Like from from day one,
like 6 months.
6 months?
I'd probably say 8 or 9 months.
And
be on the safe side. But some people, if you're ready for earlier, then that's fine. But I feel like 8-9 months probably should be on the safe side.
And I could see that. I could see that because it's still less than a year.
My full extension time, because I don't know how the people are going to act, is a year. But otherwise, if they show signs earlier, then I'll give them I'll let them get in earlier. But otherwise, I give at least a year at least.
That's I mean, yeah.
I can say that. I feel like
a year might be too much.
Yeah, like I think because we're coming from 2 different cultures, man. Like
it might be 2 different cultures,
down
but I
here,
think
man.
It also might be one other thing because I have wanted to figure out for a while, because I know like some places like there's a bunch of people who are there, there's aka a bunch of bodies to work with. But if you're in a place where the bodies aren't available, what can you do? Just throw them to the wolves, or at least make sure they understand certain things, which might take a little bit longer.
That's why it depends on the culture, because usually if your gym has a good relationship with other gyms, your guys can fight their, spar their guys, fight their guys, do little field trip shit.
I'm ready to like go into a whole tangent about it, but otherwise I'd have to have like that censored sound to kick in.
That's why I say it depends on your culture, bro. You're like in a whole different, you're comparing Canada boxing scene or that province to
I'm gonna I want to restrict it to that province, but slowly over time I've been picking up some other antics going on, which might be a little bit bigger, which might also mean I need to get censored a bit more.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like me and King P, we don't live where you live at, so it's like we don't get that vibe from the gyms. Like we don't know that scene like that.
Yeah, if I was like where you guys are at, I'd be like, yo, let's have a fight every other week.
Like certain shit that you might have as an advantage is a disadvantage to us. Certain shit that we have as an advantage is a disadvantage to you. Like it's just different scenes. You might have more people generally interested, but then
that's you guys altogether. You guys have just more bodies, period.
Yeah, but we have more bodies, but not like some bodies are not able and willing bodies. It's like
that's what I'm saying. Like he comes like this is the thing. Like PJ comes across so many people who's interested and wants to box. Like nigga, like we don't come across, like you have to be in certain circles to even meet somebody, like a random person who's a boxing fan, let alone boxes.
Yeah, but it's also because the thing is like I had to like dig around to find that person, be like, oh, he's interested. because the thing is like they just didn't know, and I'd be like, okay, let's convince it, let's find out.
Yeah, that's usually the case for us too. No one just wears a T-shirt with that shit,
Yeah.
with a with their gym record and their who they stand and
Yeah, and big drummer show and all that.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's the same
I was
shit.
not ready to hear Big Drama Show in a long time. Sorry, give me a second. Let me mute myself.
It's just like it's the whole vibe. Sometimes the vibe is different. Sometimes that's just the same. Like, but it seemed like he got more natural, like casual interest in that shit. Like down here, it's like you gotta have a fight popping off, and everybody's like, "Oh, okay."
All right, I've caught myself.
I can say that I did forget to take that into account of location. I could say that maybe a year for you, maybe in the Canada scene, but I know in New York everything is at a faster pace. So that's why I said 8 to 9 months on the safe side. But realistically, motherfuckers would be pushing, coaches would be pushing you by like 4 to 6 months.
Yeah, exactly what I said.
But I don't agree. I think that sometimes they push too hard. Like it doesn't. The 4 to 6 months, they can, but there's no need to go that early. There's no need to rush it. That's what I'm saying. Like 8 to 9 months, you're not rushing it. By then you have everything down. It's enough time to clean up any bad habits, anything bad that needs to be cleaned up.
And you kind of rocked with your style a little more too.
Yes, but like a year down here is like overextending, and it's kind of like that extra 3 months isn't really going to do anything. It's like it's excessive.
Because you got to look at it. If you're starting in January, I would try to get my guy ready to fight probably around June, July. Latest November, October. Because at least he's going to end the fight. He's going to end the year with a fucking fight. Maybe 2.
That's true, because I know like there's a couple things that you guys are talking about, which I know in some cases over here that might even be part of the situation. Because sometimes a couple times I've heard from like other guys I know who've been fighting over here, they'll be like, "Do we just have enough people? Do we just have enough people?" So some of you, it's like you guys talk about like, "Yo, do we have people like part of the game?" Things like we just have like lack of numbers. Period.
Yeah, but like I said, it goes both ways, because we have an abundance of numbers, but a lot of those you have lesser numbers, but you have more able bodies. Like if you take all the numbers that we have, over here, about 40% of them aren't any good. Like that was one thing that I first heard when I got in, when I started getting in the gym and training. People would want to spar me, and my coach would be like, "No, can't spar him yet. He's no good." Like which was motivation in and of itself, because I hated hearing that he's no good. But like, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, this dude's a hoopty. Telling you this dude's a hoopty ass boxer.
You gotta take the condescending, smart ass remarks from the coaches and shit.
No, he was just protected. He was like, at that point when he said that, I was no good. I wasn't gonna do anything to
Damn,
help
but niggas can say he not ready. What the fuck?
Just give me a minute. I'll be right back.
Yeah, I mean that's just the way he kind of said it. My coach is an old school Jamaican, so you know how that goes.
No good. no good. I'm not ready.
Yeah.
Right, fuck all that. Damn. When I guess Nicholas Walter's not ready.
I mean, I think that also, I don't know, like, how much do you, like, think the prep, like, what would you put a percentage on the inside and outside the ring of, like, how much, is it 50-50, like, compared to, like, how much you're looking at, how much work they're putting in, on inside the gym than outside the gym? Because as I know, some motherfuckers just have shitty work ethic outside the gym. And that even goes to the pros.
Yeah, then I feel like then your gym time got to be longer then. If you're one of those guys who not gonna hold it together on the outside a lot like that, then your gym time need to be 70-30, 60-40 type shit. It can't be 50-50.
That
And if you're
definitely makes sense.
yeah, exactly. And if you're one of these guys, because I wouldn't. Me personally, would I work out so hard at the gym? I don't do no fucking running around the neighborhood, road work, none of that shit. Nigga, my road work is on a fucking treadmill or elliptical, shit like that. You know, like fuck all this damn running on some hard concrete. I know my situation different with my knees and shit, and my feet and shit, but if you're looking at it like that, yeah.
I want to find out a bit more because you talk about like road work and different knees and shins and
Yeah,
stuff.
because I was telling LB like, how much do you like put into like both in work in the gym and outside the gym? Because as you know, as I know, and this even goes to the pros, a lot of motherfuckers just have shitty work ethic. So you're not gonna get them to put in the work outside the gym that you are inside the gym.
I'm learning that the hard way right now with some of my clients. Yes, I know that already.
The
So
hardest
like,
thing on the outside is basically the diet. Because if you instill in the gym and the hard work ethics, you know, with the training aspect, the dieting is really going to be the hardest part. I think that is the hardest part for most people.
It is. It's almost always going to be the diet.
But I'd rather them be wanting to train. I'd rather have a guy who loves training and has a shitty diet than a guy with a good diet and shitty training habits.
Yeah, I lean towards that too. Because at least the person who's willing to put in the training, they have the skill set and they're building up the general stuff. So if they decide to eventually lose the weight, they're going to be a more capable fighter. Versus a guy who's so focused on losing their weight, they don't build up the skill.
Yeah, like you depending on the division, because you know it might not be a weight thing. It might be more of a cardio stamina thing.
yeah,
That is true too. Because I know there's some people who will focus on losing the weight, but they never consider their cardio whatsoever.
So you know, I'll take a James Toney and Canelo type of dude over a Wilder type of cat who don't seem like he likes training and shit.
it's
But
weird
he has,
hearing
like-
you. It's weird actually hearing you say something positive about Canelo. Just saying.
He took a dig at Wilder either way, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I
He
know, that
wants
is true,
to
that's
lose
true.
the other thing.
Nah, but I mean, that's the thing. You know, because I guess you could say. I mean, this is the thing. I don't hate on dude, but the reason why I say Canelo because I'm looking at the stamina. You know, we're talking about shitty staminas, but with the talent and skill. So I'd rather have a guy. Who was the first guy I named? I know I said Canelo.
Tony, you said Tony.
Okay,
James
yeah,
Toney.
James Toney's another one. Yeah. Although I think his stamina is better than Canelo, but
James
I was gonna say,
Toney
way
is
better.
a wizard with his stamina. He literally lures you into thinking like his stamina is one way and he goes the other way.
yeah, but
gone
then he
on a-
also knows how to hide and box and be smooth
see-
and relaxed.
Yeah. Canelo
James-
is just too straightforward. You
But
will
see,
know
James-
when he's tired.
But see, the thing with James Toney now is James Toney is the example of going too hard, overcompensating too much on inside the gym when you don't do as much outside the gym, but you do too much
Yeah.
inside. By that time, you're spent. By the time you actually have to come fight, like he wears himself out too much before then. So like, I would say 70-30, I would say makes sense. Anything more than that, and I feel like you're just overexerting yourself.
Well, it depends what's in that
personally-
70-30 because remember, James Toney didn't like to do any type of cardio. They used to
Yeah, I
say
was gonna say personally.
he just wanted to spar himself in shape, and I don't think
Yeah.
that's a good idea.
And that's a terrible idea. Actually.
No, it's not. It's never a good idea. That's what I was gonna
But-
say.
But he is right about, you know, if you're gonna be a fighter, the best way you could get good at it is fighting. So,
That's true.
but I still think there's a balance. Like he's right and he's wrong. Like I'll say it like that.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you because like there's so many little variables that you cannot give an absolute answer.
Yeah.
So James Toney just found himself in a nice little spot because like if you decide to dig into it, you're not gonna find the right answer. So everyone's just gonna go back and forth.
But then you have like then the other thing is, okay, then you have people that are just, because I've seen this a bit when I go to the gym. There is a bunch of people there that are on the older side, and they want to go like do it competitively, but it's like especially like for Golden Gloves and all of that. But some of those guys that are older, they can't physically do the same on the outside. Like, there was one guy that always come in, he was like 37, 38 years old. He couldn't do the road work outside the gym because his knees were shot. So like
treadmill. You got to do it all. He got a 70-30 in the gym.
There are different ways to work your cardio. It's not just road work. I don't know why, even though I understand the importance of road work, I don't like how people act like it's the end all be all. There are multiple ways to
I understand, but I put high value on road work. That's just me.
Yeah, but look, if you're running the treadmill, you're doing the elliptical, or if you're not doing that, you're swimming, you're jogging,
I don't like
rope.
I don't like swimming. I don't like doing the swimming. Like,
here's the one thing I personally consider why
I'm on a peninsula, so we love swimming.
Here's the one thing I personally feel why people always put hard onto like road work. It's not necessarily like the cardio building that from the road work. It's because of that shitty moment where you don't want to run anymore, you keep going. It's that mental side. We be like,
it's discipline.
Oh, that too. That
and the thing is like
that's really what it is. But niggas can focus that on that diet.
No, here's the thing. Let me just finish. I'm like, you can build it anywhere. Roadwork's the easiest one because the thing is like, it's the easiest way to say it's like it's you versus yourself. Because the thing is like, if you do it for bag work or things like that, there's someone yelling at you, so you can find an excuse like, oh, I'll just blame the trainer and things like that. When you're on the road, you're stuck by yourself. But the thing is like, it still applies to all these things. You don't need your trainer on the bag. You don't need your trainer for some of these things. You have to tell yourself, like, I'm just going to do it because I do this. This is why there are some guys who, who are older, clearly out of shape, but they can still keep going because they've gone past that point.
No, I understand. Everybody's a little different. So, like I said, I just happen to place a high value on road work. Other people are different, but for me, that's the highest value. I couldn't do a swimming. Swimming to me is like I don't like that idea. But it is what it is. Treadmill,
that's
yes.
The thing, like, are you good at swimming? Like,
yes. No, like me, swimming to me, the reason why I don't like swimming as a substitution for road work is swimming. You can hurt your arms and your shoulders. It strengthens your arms more than your legs. Yes. And especially for most people that don't know how to fucking swim right, because Wilder does that. Wilder does more swimming than road work.
I was gonna say it goes both ways for road work if you fuck up your legs and your knees.
Yeah, because that's the thing. I'm saying swimming as an alternative. Unless you're doing cycling, like I'm just listing out all the shit that you could have the discipline to do. Yeah.
You just need to find something that fits in the category of like you can build up the endurance or like the enough reps that which falls into cardio, which is a lot of things.
Sure.
Because the thing is like some people might like doing jump rope. Some people could do jump rope for like 15 to 30 minutes and they'll get a whole ton out of that.
I like jump rope.
Some people could do that from shadowboxing as long as they have something that feels structured in their head that they need to do consistently.
Yeah, that's all that is, man.
The case is just like they just don't get like the screen time as much as like people hear from those like documentaries like I just run the road because I run the road. They never consider
because road work is the popular. We all seen Rocky. Like the minute somebody mentions boxing, you're either gonna envision somebody hitting the bag or a nigga running on the side of the road.
Yeah, that 80s montage.
Or the step.
that 80s montage, stupid shit.
Yeah, so it's already kind of typecast, but in reality, your road work is like your outside life discipline. Meaning, are you an organized person? Do you be showing up to training on time? Do you go to your work on time? Do you make all your engagements on time? Do you eat right? You know when to stop eating at night. You don't eat after 6 o'clock. Shit like that.
Because what was it? LB knows about when I did it for a bit, where I went down from like 200 to like the 170s, where he told me like don't go any lower. It was just because I just decided like just to focus on what I wanted to do. He at a certain point he told me was like, no, you're just going way too hard. You don't need to go lower. It was just because I just decided to. But it's also a case of like, can you keep an eye on yourself? Can you police yourself to maintain it? Because a lot of times everyone wants to find like, that I don't want to say, I'm gonna just use it. Silver bullet. Everyone wants to find that one option. Be like, I know all these methods. This is gonna be the one. In the end, it just depends. What are you doing? Are you maintaining yourself? Because the only person policing you at a certain point, especially right now with the pandemic, is yourself.
Yeah. I mean, that's what it comes down to whenever you training, man. Like I'll say it like this, man. Like I even end the knockout blow with this shit, man. Like there's this old story my pops used to tell me back in the day, because he used to be on the martial arts shit. He did he did boxing in the military, practiced Shotokan. I even trained with him when I was learning the Arnis and jiu-jitsu and shit. So anyways, he would say like a student would ask his master like, how long would it take me to become a black belt? And so the master said 5 years. And so he says, what if I train every day non-stop? Master says 10 years. He said, what if I train every day non-stop, weekends, holidays, everything non-stop? He said, it'll take you 20 years. So he's like, why it keeps taking longer? And like my pops, he just never tried to explain that part. And so like later on, years later, when I grew up, and I was like, yo, I figured it out. Like, I know what you're saying. Like, when you train for the wrong reasons, it's like you learn everything fucking slower. So, if the dude is just rushing just to be a fucking black belt, that's all he's gonna see. He's not gonna get all the lessons, so it's gonna take him longer to fucking practice shit. So if you normally just going just trying to learn, you'll get that black belt 5 years, whatnot. But if you one of these niggas who just see that end result and that's all you want, and you're not focusing on the journey, which is what's gonna build you to that moment, then that shit's gonna take you twice as long. And I feel like you can look at training that way as well. If you go in there for the wrong reasons and you ain't really trying to learn this shit, you ain't really trying to evolve and find yourself and see what you can do, it's just gonna make your process a lot longer and harder.
That's a wrap, folks.
I mean, I don't know what else to really say on that shit.
I mean, that was kind of the final blow.
I know. I'm like, our cats are normally about just like making jokes. This guy decides like, yo, let me just kill her right now.
Nigga did the Kuma move.
Raging demon.
Really just calm. I was like, you know what? I just pop up and do this.
He literally did what like all teachers did in middle school. Be like, you know what? I'm done with this. I'm just gonna sit down, explain myself, and just sit there. And the kids don't know what to do.
Oh man, might be that time on The Simpsons, but no. I think the mafia showed up to beef with the Yakuza, and Homer's watching them fight on their lawn, and there's like this little
just standing around doing nothing.
Yeah. That one short dude, he just standing there looking at everything, and Homer and Bart just like, come on, Homer, let's go inside. He's like, nah, not yet. Like,
he's gonna do something.
The little short dude ain't do anything yet. And you know when he does something, he's gonna do something crazy. Like, God, come on. As soon as they closed the door, the next thing you heard was, you heard like 3 bodies drop.
You know what? I'm gonna treat that bond like Ace May. It's like, yo, if I get my ass kicked, you get your ass kicked, nigga.
Hey, oh man, this But yeah, man. What closing thoughts?
The general thing I would say is we were saying it from the beginning, and even though we dug into it, it's always going to be a little bit different every single time. That's why I wanted to ask about it, because I knew it's going to be like a headache one way or another. Because the thing is, like, a lot of times, like, if there's certain subject pops in, like, people discuss about, like, there's going to be an answer. I'm like, there isn't. You don't know whether the person's going to be ready for a fight. You can just give your general assessment of what it could be and then see how they perform. Because that's the other thing that happens. We can consider, like, oh, this works. How did they perform when they fight?
Yeah, that's why you got to coach humbleness. I mean, like humility. Like they have to know when they're improving. They kind of have to feel themselves. Like they gotta know that they're growing. Just like in school, like you learning when you spelling the words.
Which can be easy or hard depending on the kind of person you're dealing with. They're either gonna learn the easy way or the hard way.
Oh, sorry, my bad. I merely thought Boondocks.
I mean,
I likes you and I wants you.
You ain't lie though. Like that's what it comes down to. Is it going to be the easy way or the hard way? But it's going to be a fucking way, all right.
It is. It is.
Way up inside your fucking head if you try to make it the hard way, and I'm trading your ass.
Yeah, people do not realize where it might go depending on the trend you're working with.
Yeah. As always, y'all hit up that ringgangradio.com.
Yes, sir.
Got them articles popping.
Yes.
Them forgotten fades, them PJ training articles.
Yes, I am now making articles that pop up on Ring Gang Radio. Because my Instagram posts make no sense, so now I'm going to actually make it actual articles.
Yeah, so y'all used to get the little free samples, but now it's like, instead of the lady on the sample cart giving you a sample, she's reaching under the table giving you the free pack. So yeah, that's Ring Gang. Ring Gang sent her in there to do that. Remember that.
Ringgangradio.com. There's the Forgotten Fades and there's the training section. Just pay attention. We're always there.
The training articles under the training section and all the other articles, on the article section at the top, or on the menu side, on whatever the fuck you looking at, if you on your phone and shit. So yeah, y'all make sure y'all tune in. Like each week, we got some podcasts popping off. Y'all follow the Twitter, the YouTube, all that shit.
And let's not forget our third. Yo, P, what do you want to let people know?
Just want to let people know, Ring Gang Radio is the Army, better yet, the Navy. You already know. Subscribe and follow all our shit. Ringgangradio.com. Come.
Yes.
Hey, nigga, I say yes. That's my ad.
I do.
Nigga busted. This nigga patting my shit. Alright, yeah. Signing off. Ring Gang. Soul Wars, LB, Shutterworth da Gawd Artist.
This is PJC Luhanga. You can find me on Instagram and pay attention to the Ring Gang Radio website. You'll see more articles.
This is the eye test. 1.
Later.